Don't you want the story twice? Have no fear, the studio say remake so.
I'm testing the waveform.
All right.
It looks fine. Room tone?
Room tone?
Room tone?
I've never used room tone a single time in any
Yeah,
of these episodes yet.
Hello and welcome to episode Lady and the Tramp of Once More with Feeling. What is it, 7 now?
I think it is 7.
Episode 7
Not
of Once More
bonkers.
with Feeling.
That's like 15 hours of podcasting goodness.
And how many hours of movie has that been?
Oh, similar. This is given how many of these movies are god awful long.
Well, because the old ones are
we have to watch 2.
The old ones are a little over an hour, and the new ones are all like 2 hours.
Right.
So.
Right. The old ones are the length that movies should be.
Yeah.
And the new ones are...
It's 14 plus 7, 21 plus the Through the Looking Glass one that we watched. So like we've watched like a day's worth of movies by this point. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Episode 7 of Once More with Feeling, a podcast about great original movies, and they're often not so great remakes. I'm Gus Schiff, a comedian, a screenwriter, a short film director. I'm a pretty good boyfriend to my wonderful girlfriend. I really like sushi, although I can't afford to get it all that often. So it's like a real nice treat when I do. What else?
What's
My
your
favorite
sushi
holidays.
place? My
favorite sushi place. I'm so glad you asked. I don't want to say because I think it gives away where I live too much.
Oh my God.
I'm afraid of dying, okay? It's not... Whatever. I also don't know the name of it because I went there with my mom when
like
she
the bigger
visited.
issue.
That's where it is, though. No, where is it? We're putting this whole thing in the episode because this is a dumb question to ask, and everyone needs to know that it's dumb. I think like a good probably 100,000 people live in this neighborhood, so I'm probably fine. It's called Sushi Nagahasu. It's on Beverly and Crescent Heights. It's excellent.
Huh. I've never been there.
Really, really good. I've been there one time, and I loved it.
You ever been to Sugarfish?
I've been to Sugarfish a lot because
Yeah.
it was kind of the go-to. And then I actually wrote about this on my Substack. I went to one of their side restaurants, the Kazunori, the hand roll place. And I was
I love that place.
I was so like, it's what it tastes so good, but I was like so offended as a customer because I was like brought in. I was like the mouth at the end of a conveyor belt. And then we finished and left. And I was like, I've never enjoyed one night stands. I've only had a handful in my life, and I don't ever intend to have any more. But I never felt good after like the couple that happened because I just felt like hollow and empty inside.
And that's how you feel about Kazunori.
It's how I feel about Kazunori, and honestly, it's how I feel about Sugarfish. You know, if I'm going to a restaurant, I want to enjoy it.
Maybe I am completely off base here, but I wonder if it's like partially a cultural thing. Like it seems to me like it might be plausible that, you know, certain restaurants from cultures that actually where people actually respect each other's space and each other's time and whatever might just kind of like give you your food and that's it. and that's all you need, and don't need to coddle you and pay you a compliment and pat you on the head.
We don't need to get into the history of the Sugarfish empire, but it started from like a real sushi restaurant that like the whole thing was how friendly and cool it was to like go to this guy's sushi bar and then chat for like 3 hours and drink and eat the fish that he served. And then it turned, you know, it's a very tight operation. It's very like cut out all the fat, make the product as cheap as possible.
Possible?
Yeah.
Sugarfish sushi is like unbelievably expensive. They're giving you like fucking $40 sashimi.
But they do like a omakase for like what a comparable thing in a lot of other Japanese restaurants is like twice as much as sugarfish is. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason for that is because it's a fucking factory line, and it's sad, and it makes me sad, and I don't like to eat there. What's your name?
I'm Mariana. You may know me from my YouTube channel, The Morbid Zoo, and also my podcast, Once More with Feeling, with my friend Gus Schiff, where we talk about old great movies and their often not so great remakes. Are you familiar with this podcast?
I've heard of it. Apparently, they also talk about Los Angeles area Japanese cuisine.
We like to keep it accessible for the listeners.
Yeah. Oh man. And this week we watched Lady and the Tramp.
We did, and wasn't it fun? Wasn't it great?
Fun.
In honor of Lady and the Tramp, I'm not even gonna yell at Russ for barking in the background. I'm just gonna let him do his thing and contribute.
Which character? And we should do this later, but I'm gonna forget. Which character is from Lady and the Tramp is Russ most like?
None of them. He's his own man, but I guess because Russ is a frat boy at heart, you know, and there's no frat boy dog in these movies. They're all kind of like either super bougie or super trash. Rita is a lady for sure.
Okay.
Russ is just his own guy. He's a farm dog. I guess if I had to pick, he's most like Trusty the Bloodhound, except he has a memory.
Okay.
'Cause he's not old.
Cool. Should we do the synopsis first? The history of 1955 first?
I think
history of Disney.
I think
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you about 1955.
That's exactly what
briefly,
I was gonna recommend. Yeah. And
then I'm gonna go through the synopsis of the movie, and then we'll talk about the movie.
Awesome.
Lady and the Tramp came out in 1955. Very fun year, very big year. The Korean War has been over for 2 years. It ended in 1953. I say ended. They signed a ceasefire. It is still technically going today. But there had been no fighting for 2 years.
Wait, what makes it technically going if they signed a ceasefire?
Well, because they have not signed a peace treaty. They have only signed a ceasefire.
Oh.
So they've never, I don't, and I might be out of date. They might have signed one recently. I feel like I would have heard about it.
I just have an image of some South Korean diplomat, yesterday waking up in a cold sweat at 3 a.m. We forgot to sign a peace treaty.
Still going. Yeah, pretty funny. War is hilarious. So it's been over for 2 years at this point, but the Cold War just keeps heating up. And I'm going to highlight a couple things that happened this year. The United States launches its first nuclear sub. The United States officially declares it is developing nuclear-armed ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. West Germany becomes a full country, the capitalist counterpart of East Germany. The Warsaw Pact, which is the USSR's answer to NATO, is officially organized. And the Second Vietnam War starts between the communist North and the non-communist South. The U.S., I don't think, gets involved until 1961 or so. But the war starts again. Before this, they had also just ended a war the year before, and that was the one that France was involved in. It's a whole thing. Bit of a disaster, that area, in this time.
Yeah, this is around the time people start thinking, maybe I'll die tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, I think so. I think once, that's why I highlighted the ICBMs. I think once it was hey guys, a missile could just come. You're not even going to see a plane. You're just going to die.
You're just going to die. So don't worry about it. You won't know.
A couple big catalysts for the burgeoning civil rights movement happened this year as well. Claudette Colvin, black teenager, is kicked off a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, and assaulted after a white woman demands she is removed. She, along with 3 other black women who were kicked off buses, sues the mayor, city commissioners, chief of police, and bus service. Case makes its way to the Supreme Court next year, 1956, who declared that bus segregation is unconstitutional. Also in 1955, Rosa Parks is kicked off the bus, starting the Montgomery bus boycott. That happens later in the year. Also in 1955, The 14-year-old child Emmett Till is brutally murdered after being accused of whistling at a white woman. The open casket funeral, very famous. Big deal. Also a big year for media and entertainment. Disneyland opens in Anaheim, California. It cost $17 million to build, or roughly 6 Cinderellas. Immediate and massive success. TV starts being kind of a big deal. Popular Broadway musicals like Peter Pan, from the play, not from Disney, are recorded and broadcast on television. And of course, marks the beginning of Disney's Mickey Mouse Club on future Disney-owned network, ABC. So, a lot of stuff. Big year.
Big year. Big year. This. Yeah. Do you think that MAGA prefers 1955 or like 1986?
I think they prefer a false version of the 50s.
Yeah, the version that Walt Disney was in the process of constructing at this time.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I was thinking about this a lot when I was watching this movie for some reason. But it's like a lot of the American past has been represented like visually through movies, right? Mm-hmm. Revolutionary era, Wild West, all this stuff. And so like the way people think about that time is very visual.
Yeah, I think that's like kind of I think that's sort of singular in human history.
Yes, I agree.
America's identification of itself through visual media specifically,
Yeah.
It's weird.
But like the thing that's particularly interesting to me is like, because of that, a lot of our understanding, I guess, popular understanding of history is like moderately wrong, not especially wrong compared to like other countries, except that almost everybody in this country is like dead wrong about what the West was like.
When?
In like the 1800s, like with the cowboys and stuff.
Oh, okay, gotcha, yeah.
Because when that got super big, everything was shot in Italy.
Yeah.
And so everyone in the movie was like white. And so everyone thinks like, yes, the American Wild West, where the white people were. And the reality is...
It seems like that was... I mean, that's not just because everything was shot in Italy.
No, it's not just because of that, but I thought it was funnier to say that than to be like, and also racism. But because of that, and also racism, they only had white characters for the most part, especially like in the bigger roles. And so people like were like, oh, of course, the Wild West where everybody was white. And then the reality is like at least half of the people were Mexican. Mm-hmm. A good chunk were like freemen or escaped slaves, or post-war Southern Black folk who didn't want to.
My understanding is that the entire reason we call them cowboys is because running cattle was like a considered a black job.
I didn't know that, but you're from the South, so I'll take your word for it.
I think that's true.
Yeah, but then a lot of American Western words like buckaroo and other ones are like Spanish words as said by someone who's never heard Spanish before.
Yes, yeah.
Like buckaroo is just vaquero.
Yes,
but wrong, and like other such examples. And that's always interesting to me because one of the things that I noticed about this movie is that there are no black humans.
Gosh, and there sure are a lot in the new one, which we can talk about because I have some thoughts about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd characterize it as positive or negative quite.
Let me give you this synopsis of Walt Disney's 1955 dog-focused romantic comedy.
Really
Lady
quickly,
and the Tramp. Yeah.
Do we know where the old one is supposed to take place?
New England.
Okay.
Is what they said.
All right.
So, first, oh my God, it's Lady. Wow, the cutest ever Christmas present for
So
1910s-ish.
cute.
So cute. Rich people, Darling and John Deere. She's a cute little needy puppy whose people love her. And then she runs outside. She's older, a little bit older. She's like 6 months old. She runs outside. She chases a shitty little rat. And then we meet the neighbor's Jock, a Scotty who's Scottish. So clever.
Kind of
and
Scottish. His accent is a little dodgy. I think it's the same voice actor who does like the mouse in the Aristocats, and it's like it was kind of a mainstay Disney voice actor. I think he
like
was
the knockoff Mel Blanc.
Yeah, kind of. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And we also meet Trusty, who's just like a sweet little old bloodhound. And then we cut over, we meet Tramp, who's just like chilling in the city, being a cool guy, being a little scam artist. He gets some yummy breakfast from Tony's Italian restaurant, and then he frees his friends from the dog catcher. Oh no, we're back with Lady, and Darling's pregnant, gasp. And Lady's upset, right? And then as Lady's upset, Tramp comes by. He had run away from the dog catcher, ended up in the rich neighborhood. Tramp comes by and tells her it's going to be awful. And it is awful. Darling and John Deere go away on a trip, and evil Aunt Sally and her evil racist caricature Siamese cat show up to babysit, and it does not go well.
Is she Aunt Sally in the old one? She's Aunt Sarah in the new one, I think.
I heard Aunt Sally.
Who cares? She sucks.
Yeah. Lady is blamed for the cats destroying the house during a really rough song. Aunt Sally takes Lady to get muzzled, and Lady rightfully runs away. But oh no, she's chased by scary street dogs. But it's Tramp to the rescue, like the cool Han Solo guy he is. Lady wants to get her muzzle off, so Tramp takes her to the zoo, which to basically scam a beaver into getting it off of her.
It's a positive scam, though. It's not. He's not like trying to take anything.
But
from
it is
the beaver.
like he puts on the like Harold Hill voice that I have I don't want to self-promote too much, but I just finished. I literally last night at 2 a.m. just finished the latest draft of this rom-com that I'm writing with that kind of scam character because I've missed it so much. It's like, I want more of that. Anyway.
We don't have enough door-to-door salesmen in modern America.
Have enough.
That's our problem. They've all been replaced by tech bros and like crypto fascists.
All of the modern scam artists are so obnoxious.
They're so lame.
Give me the scam artist.
No charisma at all.
Give me the scam artist. I want to steal my money. Give me more vacuum salesman scam artists. Anyway. Really, it's a great scene. It's also a really cute first date, the whole zoo thing. They walk around town. Tramp extols the virtues of being a beggar as he takes Lady to Tony's restaurant, where the iconic, in all caps, spaghetti scene happens. It's adorable.
It's so cute.
And then it gets super romantic. There's moonlit walks. There's a cute bridge scene. They're on the hillside cuddling next to several humans who apparently drove up the hill to just cuddle and do nothing else. In the morning, after they wake up next to each other, Tramp tries to sell her on the trampy lifestyle. And Lady's interested, but she's like, who would watch the baby?
So sweet.
Aww.
Good dog.
On their way back to the house, Tramp takes Lady chicken chasing. Lady does not enjoy it, and not only does the farmer shoot at them, but as Lady runs away,
pretty alarming.
As they both run away, Lady gets caught by the dog catcher and taken to the pound. Oh no.
Mm-hmm. It's all his fault. What a jerk.
It's all his fault. This is longer than I thought it would be. As some of Tramp's friends who are also in the pound howl a sad jailhouse song, we get just nonstop shots of like sad dogs straight out of an ASPCA commercial. In
the arms of the angel, they're all like crying. Yeah. They've got tears running down their little faces.
I legitimately thought they were like parodying that commercial, but I think the commercial came out
possibly be
much later.
There's no Sarah McLachlan in 1955.
Not yet. And then we meet my favorite character in the whole movie, Boris the communist philosopher. Not a big role, but just so good.
Yeah,
Makes
2 lines or something.
Makes a
and-
red,
he nails them
red
both.
pun.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Lady learns from Tramp's friends that Tramp is a dog slut, and Lady is upset. And then Lady's bail gets posted. Tramp comes to apologize, but Lady and her nice friends want nothing to do with him. But then that shitty little rat comes back, and he goes up to the baby's room, but Lady is chained. Oh god. But
Ruined
Lady is
it.
chained up outside, and Aunt Sally doesn't notice the rat. Oh my god. Tramp comes back to the rescue. Lady sends him into the house to fight the rat, and Lady breaks her frickin' chain. They kill the rat together, saving the baby's life, but Aunt Sally falsely accuses Tramp of attacking the baby and calls the dog catcher. Darling and John Deere come back at exactly the right moment. Lady shows them the rat they killed, and Jock and Trusty overhear, then set out to rescue Tramp. There's so much action in Act 3.
Yeah, Jock
by
and
the
Trusty
way.
really step up. They're kind of in
Yeah.
the background for a while, but man, when
They
they're needed, they're there.
They chase down the dog catcher wagon, which was horse-drawn, right? Because it's like still 1910 or something. And they make it crash as Lady and her humans arrive in like the first ever Model T. Tramp is okay, but Trusty fucking died after getting hit by the horses.
The stakes in this movie
Which
are
is
so
just devastating. And then we jump to the very next Christmas. Lady and Tramp celebrate with their humans and 4 really cute little puppies. And then who's coming to join the party but Jock? And oh my god, it's Trusty. He's still alive. Hooray. The end.
great movie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's really good. This is, I think, my favorite animated movie that we've watched so far. What do you
Excuse
think
me.
about that?
Can cut that out. I think that's a fair opinion to have.
Cut out your burp.
It was. I was clearing my throat. Thank you.
You definitely burped.
I did not.
I know what a burp sounds like.
You clearly don't. I think this is in my top 3 for sure,
Yeah.
if not favorite. It's like it's just. I think it's like the perfect blend of like beautiful Disney animation with like good, fun, rapid storytelling. You know.
It is. What's interesting is it is. I don't know what the movies in between the remakes have looked like, but Lady and the Tramp is so far the one that kind of follows modern storytelling principles the most.
Interesting. Say more.
Where it's like, okay, so I don't know if you've read Save the Cat, but
I have, yeah.
basically there's this book that exists called Save the Cat, which is like a reverse engineering of the most popular Hollywood movies of the past.
Yeah.
I think it was written
It's kind
in
of like laying out the Hollywood formula.
yeah, and the
modern
Hollywood
Hollywood
formula
formula.
is like it's out of 90 pages. It's like on page 5 you mentioned the theme, and on page 11 you have the catalyst that ends up at the end of Act 1, which is page 25.
It's like
triggering-
startling how many movies like do land on like you can pick up any movie made in the 90s and flip to page 25. And
Yeah.
if that moment isn't there, it's on page 26. you know?
Yeah. But the reality is like that's just true for like most stories.
Yeah.
Save the Cat kind of distills it down to the page, but most stories have an Act 1, an Act 2, an Act 3. I don't like that structure. I prefer an 8-part structure, but the 8-part structure maps exactly onto that, where it's 2 parts in Act 1, 2 parts in the beginning of Act 2, 2 parts at the end of Act 2, 2 parts in Act 3. And guess what else maps onto it exactly? The 5-act structure that Shakespeare used. You know, it's like, it's just another way of highlighting the stories, but I think it is a transition from, this is kind of the first like very feature film where it's not cut up into like its own things. Like I think with something like, even with Peter Pan, you could take a 15-minute chunk out of that movie and just show it, and people would be like, I get everything. I'm totally on board. Right?
There are so few times, maybe none. It does seem like this is the first one that we've seen where it feels like they cut out every unnecessary piece. That like everything here is doing something.
Yeah,
progressing the plot. Yeah,
right.
That like
in
there's
Yeah.
no like departure to go do this, like Pink Elephant's bizarre kind of.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. This movie is very interesting in a number of ways. Number one, it's the first movie ever distributed by Walt Disney's wholly owned distribution company, Buena Vista Pictures. Every movie prior had been distributed by RKO. They had a dispute. It was over pay. Classic. It is also kind of, sort of, the first, like, actually original Disney movie. It says at the beginning that it's based on a story by Ward Green, who was this, like, pretty prolific writer at the time. But I don't, like, agree. And it's definitely... Let me clarify. It's not, like, based on the story at all, like, to the extent that everything else that we've watched so far is based on a book. It's... The development is really interesting. Let me tell you about that for a second. So way back in 1937, that's all the way back when Snow White released. That was 22 years before this movie came out. There was a storyboard artist named Joe Grant who pitched Disney an idea about Grant's dog named Lady and how the dog reacted when Grant and his wife had a baby. And like the twist would be that everything would take place from the dog's perspective. And Grant delivered some sketches and they were adorable. And Disney was like, yes. And so they built out this version that was just about Lady and the Siamese cats and the rat. And like, that was it. There's a lot in between then and now. And I don't want to give like every moment because it's a lot. But basically Disney thought this version was kind of boring. Development kind of stalled, not least of which because the war happened. But then Disney reads this short story in 1959 called Happy Dan the Cynical Dog.
59?
1945. Reads a short story in the February 1945 edition of Cosmopolitan magazine called Happy Dan the Cynical Dog. It is extremely short, and it basically just describes the character of Tramp. And Disney calls the writer and he says, your dog and my dog have got to get together, and hired Green to first rewrite his story to include Lady and then start working on Lady and the Tramp, the movie. And then Disney stopped making features until Cinderella again in 1950.
I see.
Right? All of his feature-length animation were those like 3 shorts shoved together with a really weak tag together. I forget what they were called, but I mentioned it like 2 or 3 episodes ago. So Cinderella comes out, crazy success. Whichever one comes out in 1951. Alice in Wonderland comes out, not a great success, but like, it was fine. And then Roy Disney calls Walt Disney and he's like, we should start up Lady and the Tramp again. This is 1952. And Disney basically pulled the company, and the animators enthusiastically and overwhelmingly were like, yes, let's do it.
Interesting.
So the movie comes out.
I wonder what they were so excited about.
Well, me too. I mean, not really. It's just really good.
I mean, yeah, it is really good. I just wonder if it was like, oh, yeah, I want to animate a bunch of dogs. That sounds like super fun. That sounds like
it might be
interesting animation challenge,
There's something I did not put in these notes, but that I did read, which was something like, if the public response is anything like these animators, we have a massive hit on our hands. Something like that. Mm-hmm. So the movie comes out on June 16th, 1955, 1 month and 1 day before Disneyland opens. And it did outstandingly well. It made more money in its initial release than any Disney movie since Snow White. Yeah, it's crazy big. The distributor take was about $6.5 million, according to the January 1956 issue of Variety. For context, Cinderella, which built Disneyland, I think only made $4 million, if I remember. Mm-hmm. Audiences clearly adored this movie, but critics didn't. And I don't know why. Like my favorite critic of the time, Bosley Crowther from New York Times, he didn't like it. He said the animation and lack of story originality were like weak points in the movie. He liked some things, like he loved the Siamese cat sequence, which he called superbly droll. He also called them
Bosley. He's such a stick in the mud. Everything he says is like
he called the cats satiric mockery, but I'm not. It's
definitely mockery.
I don't know what they were satirizing.
Yeah.
I think they were just kind of being shitty towards Thai people.
Yeah.
Time magazine also didn't like it, saying Disney's style of gooey sentiment and stark horror just didn't work this time, and also implying that the main reason people would see this movie is because they like dogs, which,
oh no.
It's not wrong. It's like they made a point of being like, sure, the 20 million dog lovers in this country might find something to enjoy, but what about the cat lovers? It's hilarious.
What is silly like nitpick? Like the main reason people want to see this movie is just because you like dogs. Oh, just because you like romance. Oh, just because you like seeing this thing in a movie. That's the only reason you like it. It's like, yes, that's what liking a movie is.
You only enjoyed one battle after another because you like good movies.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, you got people like Edwin Shallert of the New York Times. I'm sorry, of the LA Times. And by the way, like, can we bring back 1950s names? These are so much more interesting
Edwin.
than like Gus, than
I'd
John.
say Gus kind of is a
you
1950s
think so?
name. Yeah,
okay, ignore that. But like, I'm sick of guys named John. I don't want any more like Davids in my life. I need Edwin. I need Bosley. I need it. Anyway, Edwin says, and this is just like the opening sentence, abounding in shimmering radiance that distinguishes it even from the magic of prior Walt Disney cartoons. Lady and the Tramp is an experience in motion picture viewing to bring joy everlasting to all who become acquainted with this singular phenomenon in cinema form. So I think he liked it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I like it too. I agree with him. I think it is shimmering and radiant, and I don't know if the joy it brings me is everlasting, but I do think it's kind of a singular phenomenon. It's a really lovely movie.
It's so good. This is interesting because it was kind of, for me, it was like the opposite of the last three, which I did not remember very well.
Yeah.
And then I watched it and I was like, oh, I don't know if I like it. Well, Cinderella's really good, but for Alice and Peter Pan, I was like, no. But for this one, I also didn't remember it very well. Mm-hmm. And then I watched it and I was fucking entranced.
It's really beautiful.
It's so nice.
Beautiful in the same way that Cinderella is beautiful for me, and in the way that Peter Pan a little bit, but that Alice in Wonderland and especially Dumbo are really not, just because they seem a little more bare bones and a little more abstract. There's one sequence where when Tramp is fighting the rat, there's no background, and it's like that's all very abstract, and that's kind of the only time that happens in this. Otherwise, it's like, and like there are times in Alice in Wonderland and Dumbo both where it kind of seems like they're like skipping a frame every now and then just for to like cut costs or something, and that never happens here. It's like every single movement is choreographed. Every single expression is drawn out entirely. And it's so cute. The way that they animate all the different dogs, a bloodhound is so much different from a Scotty in how they move and, what they do. Yeah. And it's so good. It's so cute.
It's, as a noted dog fan, I'm sure that played to my enjoyment of this movie.
Oh, same.
so much.
I
I don't
love
even like
dogs.
Cocker
They're the
Spaniels that much.
No,
But I
in
was
fact,
like-
the Cocker Spaniel they got to play Lady in the new one, I think. I don't think Cocker Spaniels are very attractive dogs.
No, they're not sexy enough. That's so true. Should have been a Pomeranian. The hottest of the small dogs. I don't like that. I don't like that joke. I don't stand by that.
I used to have a Scottie when I was growing up. I had a Scottie.
Mm-hmm.
I love Scotties. They're the best. And the way that Jock is animated is just so cute. His little legs and how they end in just like kind of like it kind of seems like he doesn't even have like
Paws.
paw pads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sort of like frayed bits of fur. He's so
Yeah.
cute. Even though his accent is terrible. It's all right.
I mean, I don't know. I like that. I know we said earlier, like, it feels like nothing's wasted. And I agree with that. But I did like how much time they took at the beginning.
Yeah.
Of letting Lady like be a dog.
It really does feel like they did put two stories together. It makes perfect sense to hear that, like, oh, there was this one guy who had this idea, and then this other guy had this idea, and now we're gonna, smash them together, and now it's Lady and the Tramp. And yeah, that is how it feels. It's like each of them have their own complete story arc. And
Yes.
yeah, the amount of time that they spend, establishing her puppyhood and what a clingy little cutie pie she is. It's so cute. And also just like that her humans' names are Darling and John Deere because that's what they call each other. And like, have you seen that meme about like, oh my God, I just realized that I've never told my dogs my name. My dogs don't know what my name is. And like going up to your dog and introducing yourself to them.
You
like,
say
what are you doing?
You say that, but my late dog, whenever like when I was away at college, and I would call my mom and she would say my name, her little ear, like her little head, just like what? Who? He's coming back? He's on the phone? So I think they pick it up somehow. I love dogs.
Me too.
I was confused about the Siamese cats. And
What confused you about them?
What confused me is less like that they were there and more that like I was so sure that they were from the Aristocats.
Oh, no, there is another Siamese cat in the Aristocats that plays the piano.
Are you sure?
I am. I just watched it.
Okay. But like as part of the jazz band.
Yes.
Like I thought that this song was from the Aristocats.
No, never. You know how I know? It's because when I was a kid.
Because you just watched it?
Well, yeah. But also, I think within this movie, the sequence I most watched was the Siamese cat sequence because it was included in like this, like basically a clip show, like a Halloween special compilation that Disney had that we ripped off the TV and recorded onto a tape. That I would watch all the time because I really liked horror even as a child. And that sequence was included in this Halloween compilation, which I think is a little odd.
As like costume ideas for the 90s? Or?
I don't know why. Just because the Siamese cats are kind of creepy, I guess, which they are. I think they actually are pretty successfully villainous. It sucks that they're racist caricature. It doesn't seem necessary,
Darn. It's interesting that they were in there from the beginning. Like that was of everything else that changed and morphed in the development of this movie.
Yeah.
They're like, we gotta remind people that it's the 30s and then 40s and then 50s.
There have to be cats, and they have to be Asian.
None of us have had Thai food yet, so we don't care about that country.
I mean, they're like pretty menacing. They're very villainous.
They're super menacing. I mean,
they're trying to kill everything.
Yeah, I don't think this makes sense because like the Vietnam War just started, and I don't know how involved America was in like the French part of the first Vietnam War. But I'm kind of wondering, like, if they kept it around, I wonder how much that was influenced by like the anti-Japanese sentiment. Because remember,
I think
like,
there had to have been a lot of residual like.
Well,
we don't like Japan, and all the other Asians are like them, except some of them are nice sometimes, a little maybe.
Well, don't forget, like, because here's what happened kind of in Asia as this movie was getting developed. The war between Japan and China had already started, and the U.S., I believe, I could be wrong, was assisting China in that war. And then Pearl Harbor. Mm-hmm. And then California was one of 3 states to intern all of its Japanese citizens and residents. Mm-hmm. And a big, and we know for a fact that the reason they were interned, like, was just racism. Mm-hmm. For a number of reasons. Number one, there was like a public apology to the people interned, and they received compensation, financial compensation for it, from a Republican government in the 80s. Number two, the state with the highest percentage of Japanese people did not intern anybody because they were like too essential to the economy.
Wow. That
was Hawaii. There was an internment camp on Hawaii, but most the citizens there weren't interned.
Interesting. Did they try and then decide not to? Or
I don't think they even considered. I'm sorry, I called it a state. It was a territory at the time. Became a state, as we all know, in 1959.
Yes.
But I don't know. I think they were just too like integral. Like they couldn't be cut out of the state's economics.
Do you think there's a lesson we might be able to learn from that today? Look at who your farm workers are, and look at who's like, cleaning up all your houses and like tending all your lawns and shit, packing all your meats, and
I don't think
working all your factories.
Well, Mariana, this is from the past.
Oh.
And the past was a different time. So I don't think we can take any lessons from what happened then and apply it to now. That just wouldn't make sense to me. So there was internment, and then the war ended, and then the communist Chinese thing happened. And then in 1949, the communists won and exiled the non-communist Chinese government to Taiwan. And then in 1951, the Korean War started. And then that had just ended 2 years prior. And it was going on as they restarted like final development on the movie. So all that to say, a lot of stuff going on in that part of the world that America was not a fan of, and especially like white Americans. Now, Walt had a good chunk of communists working for him, although less by this point because of McCarthy. But, it's not like I would not. I think there are some caricatures that are not malicious,
Yeah, well, and it's also just like America loves to categorize people, to racially categorize people, even if it's not malicious. It's like there is a certain kind of, and I'd argue that we sort of see the legacy of that all the way up through the new one, where it's and in all sorts of silly decisions that Disney makes in the interest of sort of superficial wokeness, where it's like
modern Disney.
Where it's like they've built, they really have like kind of built so much of their company on the back of caricature, for better and worse, that and so much of that has sort of suffused itself into American culture as a whole that they really can't get away from it. So like, like I looked at one of the trailers for the original Lady and the Tramp, and they just straight up call the cats, I think it's mischievous Orientals. So that's great. The little Chihuahua that's in they I forget his name, but they they say, you know, something like, and you'll meet like Pedro or whatever, whose luck run out the same day as his visa. Like, yeah.
Did they really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
it's like, it's the idea that we can, because it's cute, you know, that like, all these different dogs from all these different countries. It really is like we're just different breeds, huh?
When did It's a Small World open?
I don't know. It was early.
1964 at the New York World's Fair. And then it was moved to Disneyland then 2 years later. Okay, so that theory doesn't work. But it's because it's interesting, like with that ad stuff, like, you know, and they didn't need to have the Russian, and they didn't need to have the Mexican dog, and they didn't need to have it. And the Russian is also
bulldog,
the British bulldog. The Russian is all the Scottish Scotty.
Right.
The Russian Boris like is a caricature. He makes a communist joke.
Right.
But I love him.
Yeah, the Chihuahua makes a Mexican joke.
Yeah.
But except in contrast to the Russian joke, the Mexican joke is about how Mexicans have really long names, and the Russian joke is about political philosophy.
Yeah. Isn't it the Spanish who have really long names? Do Mexicans have long names?
Yeah,
What's your full
absolutely.
name, Mary?
I actually only have 2 names, which is weird, but my dad's name is Jose Juan Colin Alcantara. Or
That's
Alcantara,
only-
depending on what...
It's only 4.
yeah, I know. It's
Not enough.
No, it isn't enough.
Come
Considered
back when
pretty.
he's got 6 names.
Considered kind of a short name for our purposes.
You know, sometimes I just say things and then I get if I feel really weird about it. What else? What else do we talk about for this first one?
Do we want to talk about the actual plot?
And like give the synopsis?
Well, no, but like the character development and like
sure.
you know, the relationship between Lady and
yeah.
Tramp, and
I liked it.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can talk about this when we in a couple minutes here when we talk about the new one, but like there are certain things about their relationship that I don't love, you know?
Yeah. Tell me why you don't love it.
He's kind of a jerk to her. And it's like, it's okay-ish because like the excuse that I'm giving them is they're dogs. And of course, like he thinks it's fun to chase chickens and whatever. And he thinks that'll be like a fun adventure for them to go on.
Yeah.
But like he just like arrives at her house and, you know, announces that her life is over. And it's not like he's manipulating her into this, but like he does not listen to her at all when she says, you know, what she wants. And, you know, all she wants is to go home. And he's kind of like insisting that she not.
I watched The African Queen recently. And I bring that up because at one point in the development of this movie, Tramp's name was Grant because his main human inspiration is Cary Grant of the sort of like not traditionally Hollywood handsome but still attractive in a normal guy kind of way.
Right.
That's who they based Tramp off of. And I believe quite a lot of movies that involved some degree of romance at this time had that kind of relationship.
Yeah, it's a little bit the same kind of like odd early 20th century sexual politics that we've talked about with other movies where it's like, oh yeah, no, this is just how like cool guys do, you know, it's how cool guys are. And so it's like it's like it's kind of interesting and desirable that he's this like dog slut and we're going to sing a song about it. We're going to like sing a cool, you know, jazz ballad about.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
It's my favorite. Yeah, but I don't like because that, you know.
And then when he's called out on it, she's like, hey, babe, what do you want? You know, it's like that kind of attitude where it's like cute and fun for guys to act like.
It's Han Solo, you know? It's
I know.
I was like that, and then I met you, and now I'm not like that anymore.
Yeah, that is the fantasy for sure.
Yeah. At the beginning, because we talked about like Peter Pan is nuclear family propaganda. What was there was another one that felt like nuclear family propaganda.
Cinderella for sure is
Cinderella
not nuclear
felt
family
like,
propaganda, but
yeah.
definitely a certain kind of
And
family ambition propaganda.
At the beginning of this movie, especially when Lady was having her really well animated baby nightmare,
So cute.
I was like, oh, it's anti-nuclear family propaganda. Don't have a baby or your dog will run away. But then by the end of the movie, it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's most certainly nuclear family propaganda. Yeah.
It's still nuclear family propaganda. I wonder if you can find any large American movie made in the 1950s that is not nuclear.
It's one of those things that wasn't like required in the sense that the state wasn't demanding it. But I mean, like we still are squarely in Hays Code time, aren't we? When did the Hays Code end?
Yeah, I think it ended officially in the 60s.
There you
but,
go. Yeah.
It was really weak by like when.
Sure, but the part of the reason, and like part of the reason the Hays Code existed in the first place was to avoid government censorship. You know, that like there were all these murmurings of like, ooh, this new technology, what it's going to do to the kids, and so the film industry came together and decided that they were going to like really tone it down, and censor themselves.
But also it was kind of like heavily reinforced by McCarthy and all that. And so even though the Hays Code was officially abandoned, I think in 1965, when McCarthyism totally fell apart, that's kind of when the Hays Code started weakening, and you started having gasp, a man and a woman in the same bed, gasp, a criminal getting away with it, gasp, some other thing. I don't remember all of them. A toilet on screen, something like that.
Right.
That happened. The spaghetti scene is interesting. I was reading like when they were animating it, it was a little more comedic. It was a little faster. And they were like, I don't know if it works. Well, I think Walt tried to cut the scene actually at one point. Yeah, and the person who had initially animated it, or the director or something was like, no.
That's like one of the Disney scenes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, to slow it down, to slow the scene down, they hired like a brand new animator to basically put in more frames.
Oh, interesting.
Because that's how you had to slow things
It does seem
down
like the
in the day.
It is faster paced in the new one. It is a little more comedic.
Yeah. And and then it comes out and it's like that's the moment of the movie. And it's just like it's one of those things that's so interesting about creating art is like you don't know which part of it is people are gonna respond to.
You don't know which part of it you're going to respond to once it's done.
Yeah.
Like it's done, and you're like, oh, this isn't working. Actually,
oh,
you just
don't I
grab
know
it.
it?
Yeah,
I'm editing this short right now. And there were a couple shots I demanded. I was like, it's gonna look so fucking good. And then like in the edit, I'm like, oh no, oh god. But it's all experience, and the more whatever. One thing that I noticed, and I think one of the reasons that I really love this movie is the dialogue in this film is particularly excellent.
Yeah, it is.
It is outstanding. It is so good. It's everything that they tell you dialogue should do. Character specific. Be interesting to listen to. Bounce off other dialogue well. It just does it, and it does it in such a like for every character, even Boris.
Your favorite character.
I'm gonna keep bringing him up because he fucking wasn't in the new movie, and that made me sad.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are no racial stereotypes in the new movie. Oh no,
it's devastating. Yeah, the dialogue was so good. I really liked it. I think it's my favorite. I think I like this one the most so far. I think it will certainly be replaced by one of the Disney Renaissance movies, but it was much. Listener, if you have not seen this movie in a couple years, do yourself a favor. Make a nice cup of tea. Make some spaghetti. Sit down with someone you've got a crush on, or your wife, or someone you're in love with, or whatever. And just give it a little watch.
Yeah, go check it out. It's worth it.
It's short. It's like 77 minutes. It's adorable. It's really sweet.
What was your favorite part, Gus?
My favorite part of this movie, and I really wish I had wrote it down because I remember watching it. I was like, oh, this is my favorite part. My favorite part was like the dog jailhouse howl when we first before Lady is after Lady gets arrested, but before she's in the pound, and they're just doing like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" like jailhouse song, and it's like, number one, how do you make like howling sound good? That's crazy to me. And then number two, like at the end, it's like, oh, it's so sad and emotional. And then at the end, it's like they're just making noise so that their friend can dig out of the pound. A great joke. What was
Who
your
is a
favorite part,
German
Mariana?
dachshund.
Yeah.
My favorite part was small. It's a small part, but I love it. I think it's so beautiful. And it's like this movie is so full of the kind of stuff, like little animation moments that could totally have been just cut out. And one of them is when the baby is born and like Lady's a little unsure about stuff, and she goes up to the nursery and is like kind of like sheepishly, walks in, and Darling is there like singing to the baby, and Lady's trying to like look over the crib but is trying to not be rude about it, and John Deere comes in and touches her, and she kind of like shrinks back like she's going to be in trouble, but he picks her up and lets her look at the baby, like lifts her up so she can see inside, and then she's like happy about it, and then they both pet her,
really
and it's very,
cute.
very sweet. And then the next scene I think is when they leave, and Aunt Sarah Sally comes with her horrible cats. Yeah.
You know what other part I really liked? During they're having a baby montage when Lady's just running back and forth between the rooms, and it's like, we've talked a lot about how much effort Disney put into animation at this time, and I don't think they stopped putting like everything, even the 3D stuff looks good, but just in terms of that like thing. So the thing about this movie is like the idea of having it from the dog's perspective was there the whole time. And so when it came time to animate it, as is part of this like Disney tradition of putting in a lot of effort into like getting the animation exactly right, they built miniatures of the house and of the different sets, and they took photos from the dog's perspective. To give to the animators, to give to the animators and be like, well, this is what we're looking at. This is
there
what we're
is
seeing.
a like serious sense of place in this movie. Like the house feels like you could kind of map it out if you had to.
Absolutely.
That's smart. 'Cause it seems like, any amateur, I guess, would just be like, well, animators, just go home and start taking photos from a dog's point of view of your own house. But that obviously wouldn't work because it's going to be different houses. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very, it seems very, it feels very Good Boy. Good Boy is shot the same way. They like deliberately.
Did you, have you seen Good Boy recently?
Shut up. Where they're like, specifically how they're deliberately occluding all the human faces. And it's like they don't want you to focus on the human faces. The humans are not the point, which is kind of the opposite of what the Aristocats does, like 20 years later or whatever, where the humans
15.
are 15, is it?
Yeah. I looked it up. It's 1970.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like they're the like kooky old lady who owns them, and her lawyer or whatever, and the butler, they're all like, they're all as important as characters as the cats are, and that's not the case here. And I think that's a good choice. I think it works better. I think that like having this sort of separate, like as long as we're gonna construct these sort of separate dog human realms that sort of function differently, you should shoot it that way. And yeah, I like it. It's great.
Great.
Cool.
I agree. I thought it was excellent. This episode brought to you by our wonderful patrons.
Are we going to read the patrons now?
I'm going to read it right now, just to honor all that they do for us. Brought to you by our wonderful patrons. If you want to support the podcast, go to patreon.com and join people like Aaron Summers, Dana Loy, Donnie, Chloe, Sky Kalain, James Trendle, Chimerathon, Gun Parade, Wells H, The Antithesis, Ted the Dead, Fading into Obscurity, Samoa, Andrew Ray, Ryan Faber, Forrest Cochran, Joshua Paul, and Wellen Inspector. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
And girls. Thanks, everybody. And thems. Anyone who gives us money is a great person. That is not admissible in court, just FYI. Let's talk about the new one.
Let's talk about the new one. You started by talking about the year 1955. I feel like we all remember the year 2019 enough that I needn't.
Can you give me the bullet points
of 2019?
Yeah.
Well,
my brain kind of reset when COVID happened, so like
mine too. There was before COVID and after COVID, and this was the year before COVID, and people were generally, I'd say, maybe about 15% happier overall.
At least.
Yeah. This was the year important. This was the year that Disney Plus came out. Lady and the Tramp was included in part of their initial offerings on Disney Plus, which we can talk about in a minute. But first, let's go over the synopsis. So, obviously very similar to the original. It is the turn of the century, and during what appears to be a freak New Orleans Christmas snowstorm, John Deere gives Darling a box with a puppy in it, who they name Lady. She grows up.
Can I point out?
Yes.
And I noticed this. The box in the live action had holes in it, and the box in the animated one did not have holes in it.
I hope Lady
so
could breathe.
Everything else being equal, I'm very glad that the modern movie no longer just makes a point to let this puppy breathe as it's waiting in the hat.
Don't put animals in boxes, everybody. It's a bad idea. You're in for a really upsetting Christmas.
Yeah, put them in a different room and then make a scavenger hunt for your kid to go into that room. That's what my parents did.
Aw.
It worked great.
So Lady grows up.
I started crying.
You started crying?
Yeah, I really loved my dog. She was wonderful.
You started crying just now?
No, just like immediately.
Oh.
When I was...
When you found the dog?
How old was I? 14. I was so happy.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good. Gus.
She's a good girl. Yeah. Anyway, what happens?
What was your dog's name?
Godzilla. She was a Maltese. She was 4 pounds.
So Lady grows up, and we are introduced to her neighbor dogs, Trusty and Jock. They are still a bloodhound and a Scotty. The only differences are that Jock is now a girl dog.
Named Jacqueline.
Whatever. It's okay, I guess. I'm not sure why they made that decision. I'm okay with it. I think all the voice acting in this movie is really good, including hers. And Trusty is now Sam Elliott, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect casting. Meanwhile, a stray dog is running around the neighborhood. He's helping his friends escape this beleaguered dog catcher who has been after Tramp for months. Tramp runs away, ends up in Lady's neighborhood. They meet through the fence after Lady is kicked out of the people's baby shower by evil Aunt Sarah, not Aunt Sally. I don't. Maybe they changed the name. Maybe
you know
they
what? I'm gonna. You keep doing this. I'm gonna check.
They get kind of a meet cute in this one that they don't have in the original, and I think that's one good change. They meet through the fence, and Lady. This would never happen with real dogs. Lady would know immediately that this is not Trusty she's talking to.
Yeah, she can smell his butt.
She can smell his butt, exactly. But this is a human movie, so she doesn't know.
It is, just FYI, it is Aunt Sarah in the original too. Okay. I just heard wrong. Can I just say, I wrote this down. I couldn't figure out what to say it, but as long as we're talking about me hearing things bad, Tramp calls her Pidge a lot.
Yeah.
Short for pigeon,
right?
And every time I heard bitch, I was like, Tramp, you can't call a woman that. And at a certain point, I just kept rewinding. I was like, this has to be wrong.
Do you not watch with subtitles?
No.
No.
I'm an adult.
I'm sorry.
When I use subtitles, I focus too much on the words and I don't see the movie.
It makes sense. I just get so tired of having to rewind every time I mishear something or like don't hear something, and especially with like modern sound mixing is just garbage. And anyway, what was I talking about?
Tramp, be cute.
Oh yeah. So in this one, it's evil Aunt Sarah who kicks her out of the baby shower. Aunt Sarah is introduced earlier. And then Tramp lectures her about how her life is over now because the baby's coming, and oh no, he's planted a seed of doubt in her mind. What's gonna happen? And so the baby is born, and Darling and John Deere get busier and busier, and Lady feels more and more neglected. They leave for a trip. This time they take the baby with them for some reason that's unclear to me. I wrote down, I guess they're trying to avoid cat slander as well as Asian slander because the cats in the original are like, and this is something that's kind of odd about the original. There are a few dropped threads, and one of them is that like it's the implication is that these cats are like these cats are gonna fuck everybody's lives up. These cats are gonna like kill the baby, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's you say slander, but like that's an accurate depiction of all cats.
no, it's not. My cat is very sweet. She would never kill a baby. She might kill a baby, but she would never kill me.
And that's what matters.
After Lady gets lost, the cats never appear again.
Yeah.
Which I think is it's fine, whatever.
There's a dog barking on my end that you'll definitely be able to hear. It stopped.
Well,
you can just cut
it's
it
okay.
out. It's fine.
It's dog day.
All right. In honor of Lady and the Tramp, I got a dog to bark like 4 houses down.
This is also Mexican Dog Day. It's the part of Dia de Muertos where
Feliz Dog Day.
You put up a little ofrenda for the dogs in your life, and today's the day their souls come back.
Dog Day in Spanish. Feliz Dia del Perro.
I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but that's what happens.
Wow.
So yeah, that Jim Deere and Darling leave for the trip. They take the baby with them, and it's like, I guess they have to have the baby because otherwise, why is Lady like upset? But why does she have to be upset if the baby isn't there? Like the baby just doesn't really seem. It's fine.
Not as big a deal.
Not as big a deal at all. So Aunt Sarah's cats, they're now Devon Rexes instead of Siamese cats.
Smart.
They look pretty terrible, I gotta say. Like these are I'm sure they had real cats on set for part of it, but they don't look like real cats in the scene itself. They ruin the house. They have a different song. Good choice. Good choice to change the song.
I was so sure listening to these cats that it was Donald Glover and Daveed Diggs. And it is not. No,
so they're
that's on me.
Apparently I forget their names, but they're frequent collaborators of Janelle Monáe, who is Peg the dog in this one. Okay, so the cats destroy the house, including a hideous vase that Aunt Sarah gave Darling and John Deere. So Aunt Sarah takes Lady to the pet store to get her a muzzle. The pet store guy, to his credit, disapproves. We don't want to like give people bad ideas about how to treat their dogs, but Lady still escapes the pet store, like in the original, with the muzzle on. She's cornered by a big alley dog voiced by Clancy Brown, who is also the boat captain later on. He gets like one shot. And I said, oh look, Clancy Brown. So he's
Clancy Brown.
You know who Clancy Brown is?
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in SpongeBob.
He's Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
He's also the first Highlander villain. Outlander.
Got it.
So she's cornered by a big alley dog, voiced by Clancy Brown, but is saved by Tramp, who gets her to act like she has rabies. It was cute. You know, it was like a team effort this time, and instead of Tramp just arriving and
also less violent.
A little less violent, yeah. So the dog's scared away, and Lady and Tramp have a good day. They run around the city. They eat spaghetti. Tramp tells Lady he actually had a family once and was kicked out when the baby arrived. There's this very heartbreaking flashback of his old owner throwing a ball and driving away before he can come back. I hate it. It's awful. I hate abandonment. It made me sad. The dog catcher teams up with a guy who manages the rail yard Tramp sleeps in at night, and they corner him, but this time it's Lady who saves him. And they run away, but she is captured in the process and taken to the pound. The resident dogs sing a song at her. It's slightly altered so that it's not about how, like, you know, how awesome it is that Tramp is this dog slut.
Listen, you keep saying that. Peg's song in the first movie is not like, oh, isn't it great that Tramp is fucking all these other dogs?
I didn't say it was great. I said it was desirable and interesting.
But I don't think it is desirable because Peg is sad about it.
Kind of.
She's got that like soulful,
it's romantic
jazz sing. It's sad romantic.
It's still romantic.
It's like, but it's
just because it's sad romantic doesn't mean it's not romantic.
It's romantic like the literary movement. Romantic. It's not romantic like, aw, isn't that cute, right?
It
like
is absolutely cute.
Like if you read Frankenstein, are you like, oh, you know what this book
I think
is
there's
saying?
I think Lady and the Tramp is a far cry from Frankenstein.
I'm talking about romanticism. Frankenstein is like the romantic book. I can see that I won because you don't have anything else to say. Great. Let's move on now that I'm evicted. A Victor Frankenstein. Ooh. I'm so sorry. I'm really tired. The song.
What? Yeah, the song.
Yeah.
Darling and Jim Dear come to get her. And there's still like 40 minutes left in the movie. It's like kind of a weirdly paced movie. I think it works, but yeah, a lot happens. And that's when she bonds with the baby, but she's clearly a little sad about the thought that Tramp might have never really cared about her at all and just kind of used her as a, you know, as bait for the dog catcher when it suited him. Tramp meets his friends, Bull and Peg. He's sad too, unbeknownst to Lady, and they've been adopted. Amazing. They're supposed to be unadoptable, but they got adopted.
By the butcher.
Yeah. It's very cute. He starts to feel bad about not having said anything to Lady. They never said goodbye, whatever, and seems to start considering whether maybe she had it right. Living in a house with the people isn't so bad. So he goes to see her and they kind of break up. He like, you know, says, oh, like you could just like leave with me. And she says, no, I gotta stay. And he's like, I get it. And then he leaves. Lady sees the rat crawl into the baby's room and starts barking just as the dog catcher arrives and tells Darling and Jim Dear that the dog he's looking for might be at their house. And hi, Russ. Russ has come to visit. Hi, buddy.
Puppy.
Darling and Jim Dear put Lady in a closet because she's freaking out. And then Tramp finds her. She tells him about the rat. He goes upstairs, kills the rat. He's taken by the dog catcher, but Lady goes upstairs, runs upstairs, shows the rat to Darling and Jim Dear, and then here arrive our heroes. Trusty and Jock follow the carriage. They all wreck it together, just like in the original, but this time it's Tramp who maybe dies in the crash. Tramp like really gets the kind of the short stick at the end of this at the end of this third act. Darling and Jim Dear just adopt him on the spot, and then we see another apparent freak New Orleans snowstorm during the following Christmas. Tramp's present is a collar, but no puppies. This time it's Jock's neighbor who adopts a couple of puppies that have appeared throughout the movie. I think this is appropriately their third appearance.
The puppies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because there's no way that's your real voice. It's way too cute at the beginning.
Yes.
And then they show up in the pound, I think.
Yeah, they show up in the pound. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Russ is doing crimes. Yeah, they show up in the beginning as sort of... Speaking of Save the Cat, there's sort of Tramp's Save the Cat moment where it's
they
like,
are.
yeah.
I saw that and I was like, Jesus Christ.
I know, yeah.
Be more obvious.
It works though. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
And then they appear in the pound, and then they are at home with Jock in the end. And Trusty starts to tell them about the time he saved Tramp from the dog catcher. And that's the end of the movie. So,
aww.
Yeah. 2019. This is directed by a guy named Charlie Bean. It doesn't look like he directed any like big live action movies before this. He did a couple of the Lego movies, and he worked on a lot of the old classic Cartoon Network shows. You know, your Cow and Chicken, your Dexter's Laboratory and whatnot. And I think his TV style kind of shows through in the way all these jokes are timed in this movie. I think they all land really nicely. There are few, if any, like jokes or moments in this movie that made me roll my eyes, you know. Very little cringe in this movie, which I did not expect. Like the part with the puppies when Tramp has stolen a burger and they kind of con it out of him. The part where he like sees the two poodles and is like, "Oh, you ladies come here often," and one of the poodles is like, "She's my wife." I thought that was funny, you know.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I like this movie a lot more than I expected to. I think it's a real testament to what is possible when you make a movie about animals and actually have real fucking animals on set. You know?
Yes. Yeah. The first thing I wrote was like a real dog? Question mark.
Incredible.
Question mark?
Incredible.
2 question
Imagine.
That's crazy.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
they're CGing their mouths and eyes for expressive purposes. It doesn't always look solid, but it's enough, you know. You can tell there's sort of composite shots where it's a real dog's body and a sort of a CG face, and it's like, I don't know, it's a little awkward, but I think that the awkwardness is, you know, mostly made up for by the fact that you can see it's real dog fur, that like you can see that the dog is wagging its tail. You can see that the dog is moving its ears. You can, you know, the dog is doing dog stuff. It's not that hard. I mean, clearly it isn't that hard because this is by far the cheapest Disney remake. It is $60 million.
It does show like this is you have a thing in your notes. You know what? I don't want to say your notes. You finish your point.
No.
I was just gonna say like it doesn't. It makes a lot of sense that this was one of the first movies on Disney Plus because I think this movie was made to go on to Disney Plus.
Yes.
Like, I don't like it doesn't just with the cast is a lot of TV people. The way it's shot is very kind of TV.
They didn't do a whole lot of big marketing stuff for it.
Yeah.
It does seem like this movie is kind of a different Disney time, you know, that like this honestly this kind of feels like a movie from the age of Disney where decent quality was still the expectation, you know, and like it was like, oh well, we can, you know, this Lady and the Tramp remake doesn't have to be a masterpiece. We can put it on streaming and it's still a good movie. You know, and we don't have to worry about whatever box office number. We have no idea how much money it made because it was on Disney Plus. But it doesn't seem like streaming at this point was such a, you know, like everybody was banking on streaming to save every company and produce a whole bunch of shareholder value or whatever.
Fucking pandemic.
I think this is the best Disney remake. I think I've seen most, if not all of them, and I think this is the best one. I like it better than Cinderella. I think it's really quite cute.
Don't agree. Here's my opinion. I didn't hate it at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was like very much fine. The score, like, and it was interesting because it was like I really, when it was a real dog up front, the score was kind of jazzy and interesting and like making choices, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then like we meet Aunt Sarah really early, and she's just like a bad person right away, which I was like, oh, okay, I don't know about that one. And then it's like after Lady runs away, I just started to get annoyed by like the jokes. I wrote like it's got that every single moment is a joke Marvel energy that bothers me. Which like, yeah, I think some of the jokes landed really well, but it's also like it doesn't, like, it's still like the original movie, the story is a love story, and when you're doing that many jokes that regularly about everything, it gets in the way.
I think that's perhaps an artifact of this being live action. I think it's a lot easier to get away with making an animal story just a sort of straightforward love story if you're doing it in the kind of animation that Disney did with the original, where like that
Maybe.
their like first date, you know, that whole sequence with the spaghetti through the park and into the next morning is all very Cinderella, so this is love, where the, you know, where, like we talked about with that, where it's like the animation itself and like the setting itself is supposed to be evocative of the things that the dogs are feeling, and it's not supposed to be necessarily something that they're like expressing on their own. And I just don't know how possible that is in live action. You know what I mean?
How possible, spelled P-A-W.
I'm ending this podcast right now. Goodbye.
No, I mean, like, you're not wrong, but at the same time, it's like, so?
What do you mean, so?
I don't like. I mean, so. Like,
the question with any of these remakes is going to be, how do we adapt this into something that we already know is a really cynical venture in a way that is still going to like. That is still going to read properly, that's still going to come across as like a movie of quality that was made on purpose, you know? Sure,
but like if we've talked in past episodes about how animation and live action, I think it's less that they're different styles and it's more that they're different mediums, you know? And it's like, I don't think we're in disagreement that, I think we agree that like it's definitely told better in the 2D animation medium.
I think the feeling, I think it's more romantic for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I agree that like I think that this version is kind of, I really do not like that I'm saying this, but I think it is, with heavy air quotes, fixing some of the issues that I have with the original and how their story is presented.
Interesting.
Interesting. I think it's good to introduce Aunt Sarah earlier, although I do wish that they had like actually closed that circuit at the end in a way that was like bigger than like, I'll never let you dog sit again. You were terrible at this. You know?
I just don't like.
I like that they get a meet cute, for example. I like that he doesn't just barge into her house and like start lecturing her about how her life is over because the baby's arriving.
Totally.
You know?
It's one thing just for the Aunt Sarah thing. Like one of the things that really bothered me is like in the original movie, her being shitty to Lady makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Right? Because she's like, her job is the baby, to protect the baby, make sure the baby, she doesn't know Lady at all.
I do think it's strange to take the baby out.
Yeah, it's super strange because it also like all of the choices that they made about Aunt Sarah in this movie make her like a more evil character. And I get frustrated. That doesn't really go anywhere.
I get it. Yeah. No, I agree.
And that just kind of frustrates me in a movie. It's like original Aunt Sarah like was super shitty to Lady, but like she had a reason beyond just animal cruelty.
She had a reason, but like not that much of a reason. She didn't have like.
No, she thought, and she was wrong, but she thought that Lady was like gonna harm the baby somehow, and she thought also incorrectly that Lady like ruined this house and was attacking her cats.
But isn't that,
you know?
Does I can't remember. Does Lady knock over the bassinet before
at the end?
No, in the Siamese cat sequence before Aunt Sarah takes her to the pet store to get the muzzle.
I thought the Siamese sequence was outside the baby's room. Is it not?
It is, which is I'm wondering if after that Lady goes up and somehow has some, but it seems like it would not work for pacing, so I don't think so. So I think they're very similar. I don't think that Aunt Sarah has any more reason to think that Lady is any more of a danger to the baby in the original than she does in the new one, where the baby isn't even there. You know?
Yeah, but in the new one, she does the muzzle just because she's like, she hates Lady.
Yeah, she does it in the old one because she hates Lady too, because she thought that she was attacking the cats.
But in the old one, but in the old one, like, she hates Lady because she only cares about the baby, and in the new one, she hates Lady because she's like jealous.
I disagree. I think in the old one,
parents.
she hates Lady because she thinks that Lady's ruining the house, and because she likes her cats more, and because she's like just like kind of a stupid old lady who can't see what's in front of her.
Anyone who agrees with me, I will give 25 cents. So we'll see. We'll see where people land on this.
Give me 1 second. I hear
discussion.
Russ chewing something in the living room, and it's dog day, but I have limits. Got a bottle of sunscreen. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I think I saved it in time. The choice to give Tramp like a tragic backstory, good. I like that. I think that's good. I think that's good characterization. I think it makes his behavior more understandable, you know.
But I think he had a backstory in the first one. They just didn't do a dumb flashback.
He didn't have a backstory in the first one.
He did.
No, absolutely not.
His whole explanation read to me as like he had experienced that personally. Like that's
he doesn't say it. He certainly doesn't say it.
He implies it.
When?
And when he's the whole thing he's talking about with Lady is like, this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like this, and it's gonna be like this. In my head, I was like, oh, he's saying that because he's experienced that, and that's why he's out on the street. You know?
Maybe.
That's what I got.
I think that's a fair thing to get. I just I don't know. When I watch movies, I assume that the things that happen are the things I am told. You know?
I don't do that because I just don't. When a movie tells me something directly that it has been heavily implying the whole time.
I do not
really
agree
angry.
that it is heavily implied that this has been Tramp's experience. No.
It's so implied.
No, it isn't.
He's talking from personal experience.
He does not refer to personal experience at all. He's exactly the kind of guy who extrapolates from what other people have told him and is like, oh yeah, God. I know. I'm like, this worldly person and I know everything there is to know about everything. So you should trust me when I say this.
You have such an insane take on this. I've never heard you be so wrong in my life. Ugh.
You say that, but I don't hear you, coming back with evidence for this.
What is there to offer other than no, you're wrong?
What Tramp says in the original just seems to me like sort of old wives' dog logic. This is just what happens. Everybody knows.
Yeah,
it does not seem. It does not seem to me at all that this is that we can assume this has been Tramp's personal experience.
I don't think there's any. I don't think you should assume things.
But that's what you're doing.
I'm interpreting. It's different. It's smarter. I look at the text and I draw conclusions.
I think it's good to spell it out that way.
I don't know. I like one of the things I watching these older movies that I really, really like is that they don't spell everything out. I
don't need everything spelled out. I just need things that are important to the characterization of the people whose story this is.
They show you what happens. Whereas like a lot of the newer movies, and the reason I get a little frustrated watching these movies is like they take you by the hand and they wrap you in fucking like first time skateboarding protective gear, even though we're just walking. And they lead you very, very slowly, checking in with you every second down a straight path. And then they're like, did you get it? And it's
I think that's a very fair thing to be irritated by. I just don't think that that's what's happening in this instance.
That's how I felt when the flashback happened.
I don't even know that I needed a flashback. That's fine. But like having some kind of like explicit, character beat that Tramp once had a family and he once was in Lady's position. And the reason he's behaving this way is because he had a horrible experience in his past.
He got kicked out.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but how do you not get that when he's like, hey, lady, all of these things are going to happen to you. obviously he's talking from personal
I don't think that's
experience.
obvious at
Oh
all.
my God.
How is that obvious?
It's just, that's how it works.
What?
That's what happens. That's how it goes. If someone, if you're like, I've never been pregnant. My girlfriend is not currently pregnant, nor has she ever been pregnant. But I have seen with pregnant friends, older people being like, you know what's going to happen. I should say older women, older womb havers who have had kids are like, well, you know what's going to happen is this and this. And
Yeah,
this
and
this.
I've seen plenty of like idiot guys who think they know a lot about everything, like expound upon, what's going to happen in your life or their life or it's something that they have
Yeah, but
no reason
Tramp
for
isn't-
thinking this.
We've been talking about this for like 10 minutes. But Tramp isn't an idiot guy.
He is an idiot guy.
He's not
Yes,
an
he
idiot guy. How
is.
dare you? That is Justin Theroux.
He is misguided. That's the entire point of the movie.
Yeah, but he's charming and smart and clever.
There are plenty of people who are charming and smart and clever and don't know fuck about shit. You know that.
How dare you? I know some about it, though.
Oh my god. Whoa, speaking of dogs, my goodness.
What is Rita doing?
Oh, they're both just barking up a storm.
Aw. Bark, 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 bark. Anyway, I like subtlety. I'm a fan of subtlety.
I'm also
Movies are
a fan
very
of subtlety.
safe place.
I just think that if that was the point in the original, then it was
Yeah,
too
which it
subtle.
was.
It's too subtle.
I picked up on it. I'm autistic. Maybe I'm more sensitive to movie subtlety because like it's the only place I get it. So I save up all of that energy that other people are wasting on normal human interaction. And I get all of it in the movie.
So just so they aren't like interrupting the rest of this recording, I'm just gonna go deal with this 1 second. What else?
I'm right, you're wrong.
No, I'm right. You're wrong.
Yeah. But have you considered that I'm right and you're wrong?
Have you considered that I'm right and you're wrong?
No. And then what happened? Towards the end, the dialogue got weirdly serious. Like the breakup scene was like the tone shift was just like, what is happening? This is strange. That didn't I love. And then like, and this is kind of the issue with changing the Aunt Sarah pacing for me. One of the issues with changing the pacing of Aunt Sarah and when she enters and exits the story is that the way the movie establishes like the Darling and Jindir's relationship with Lady is like a lot of mutual trust between these two species. Mm-hmm. And so when the rat happens and Lady goes in barking and then Jim Deere and is like standing in front of the stairs and like doesn't let her go up and then puts her in the closet. Mm-hmm. To me, it's like, why? That doesn't like, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't, it's a different relationship than how we establish.
Well, it's because somebody's at the door,
two interact.
no? Like they,
Well,
like somebody's
he's-
there and
he's
he
in-
needs the dog
he's-
to calm down.
I think he's inside, but it's like, I don't know. That just bugged me. And then I also noticed around this time that like the score did not continue to be really great like it was in the opening, and it got very sort of generic
Yeah, I noticed
kind
that
of
too.
action scene, which I didn't love. So it's like, yeah, I thought it was fine, but I like Cinderella more still.
I think
I don't know.
And it's like one of those situations where my standards might be a little bit lower just because I expect so little.
Snow White trauma?
Snow White trauma for sure. I just expect so little from any, especially Disney movie, but just kind of like, modern movie in general, like movie of the past 10 years, I guess, 10, 15 years, that focuses on animals. I just expect it to be awful and for all the animals to be completely CG and the way that the way that the camera and the direction is treating animals, I think, is really great. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I think all the dogs are really cute. I wrote down, all the dogs, they made a big point of saying all the dogs in the movies are rescues, which is cool. So it's not like a...
No. They are?
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, even the purebreds are rescues.
I might start crying.
Yeah, Lady's a rescue. Also, like, Tramp is a rescue. He's from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
It's so sweet.
It's very sweet. So they got all these dogs and just like within a couple months trained them all. You're crying.
I love dogs so much.
I know, me too. But like, that's really lovely, you know. Like it's so like, nobody prefers CG animals. Get the fuck out, you know. Nobody prefers CG animals.
You know what they do prefer though, and I know this because I've been talking to my boy Elon. AI animals, the best.
It's just like it. Nobody does. If you do, you're lying. You're lying, and you're just like a tech evangelist. That's it.
Yeah.
All the dogs are so cute. The way that they're shooting them is so cute. Like there are a couple shots, like the way in Lady's yard where they have this this blocking that they repeat a few times where they're in this little triangle formation, Lady and Trusty and Jock, and it's like just this wide shot of them all sitting together in this green yard, and it's so like it's almost Wes Anderson, you know, and it's like in its symmetry and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just so cute, and I mean, Jock is adorable. Oh my god, so cute. No dog wears clothes better than a Scottie. And I love all her little outfits. They're so precious. The setting is really beautiful. They shot it in Savannah. I do think it's worth talking a little bit about we mentioned a little bit of the sort of strange racial politics and the kind of uncomfortable corner Disney has painted itself into earlier. It's weird. It's weird to see a mixed race upper class marriage in 1910s New Orleans. No.
I was like, it has the style of 1910s Missouri and the progressive politics of 1970s Berkeley. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, like, and it's like, I understand the idea. I get that it's trying to be like, you know, sort of good-hearted in its historical revisionism, but like, what's the result here? Like, kids are gonna watch this movie and think that like 1910s New Orleans, everybody just like, it was a great time to be a black person.
I have a take on this, and by this I mean sort of race blind casting in historical pieces, which is like, if you're not intending to represent like real events, I don't care. I just don't care that much. I don't think it's an issue.
I agree broadly. I think the issue is that in the South, prior to civil rights, and certainly in this era, which is when Jim Crow was being codified, when the KKK was consolidating power, like, this is when, like, Reconstruction is over, and we're, and like, the sort of lost cause myth of the Confederacy is in full swing. Like, race politics kind of is the environment. And I think that, like, most Southern history in this time period is impossible to divorce from race. It was it was a part of everybody's life. And I think that's my issue with it. Like, I understand that we're gonna romanticize things about the past, and I think that's okay to an extent. But like, even if your historical revisionism is positive, it's still historical revisionism. And I think the part of the other issue with that is that, like, the kind of sanitization that's happening here is like, it's a very specific kind of historical revisionism as
sure.
You know, when we're approaching race, where it's like, it's very much the kind of, I don't see color, I'm not racist because I'm treating everybody like they're white. That to not be racist is to treat everybody like they're white, and that's not it.
I I don't know if I agree with that. Although obviously I am the whiter of the two of us, so all other things being equal, your take is probably like more accurate. But maybe, it's like I kind of I think a lot about, and it's interesting that it's set in New Orleans at this time, because I think a lot about the Italians when I think about sort of ethnic minority struggles in the U.S., because I think out of everybody, like, the Italians have done the best job. Sounds so weird saying that. In like, it was like 1892, something like that. There was a incident in New Orleans where 2 Italian youths shot and killed, I believe, the chief of police of the city, and that incident was sensationalized by newspapers across the country, and it led to, at this time, Italians lived outside of major metropolitan areas. They had gone into a lot of like smaller towns and communities across the country, and then these newspapers sensationalized the murder of the New Orleans police guy by these Italian youngsters, and as a result of that sensationalization, I think 11 Italians were lynched across the country in a matter of weeks following that. And there was a campaign of, there was an anti-Italian campaign that drove Italians out of those smaller communities and into large metropolitan areas because it was safer, right? As it often does, that also led to the rise of the American Italian Mafia, and a lot of other things. Guys, listen, if you want less crime, just don't be racist. I swear to God. It works. It's crazy. Anyway, and so Italians were like very low on the totem pole for a long time. Sure. And what did they do to solve it? Historical revisionism. The reason we have Columbus Day in this country, and the reason Columbus is taught as a hero, just, even considering what he actually did, is a part of an organized campaign by Italian community groups to establish an Italian hero in the history of the country. Yeah,
certainly. But do we think, do we honestly think that was the right decision? Like, was that historical revisionism a positive development in the history of the United States,
Well, that's an interesting thing to think about. Like, do I think Columbus was the right choice? No, I think Amerigo probably would have been better, right? But
is it good to tell, children who we are assuming is the target audience for this movie, obviously, that New Orleans in 1910 was like, even if intellectually, even if you grow up, it's like kind of the same thing with Peter Pan that we talked about last time, where it's like the attitude. I think the more that we learn and study, about like cognitive interactions with visual media, the more we will see this effect of like, well, if it's in a movie, it must be fine. That must be how things were,
Sure.
And I don't think it's honest in a pretty deep and important way to portray New Orleans as a place where
racial parity.
Yeah, like where Black people are just sort of accepted into white society and have these sort of professional positions and can marry white people in upper class society and where it snows.
That's an interesting point, and I think
why set it in New Orleans? I don't.
Because of the steamboat, it looks really cool.
It does look really. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I don't like. Is it set in New Orleans? Is that explicit? Okay. I feel like, because look, we both grew up watching media that inaccurately depicted the past, and I think we both still ended up with a pretty solid understanding of the reality.
Yeah, but we're also like quite highly educated and from families who care about education and
Sure. But like obviously everyone's media literacy is in the toilet right now. But I have to believe that it exists enough to be able to tell the difference between a sort of like Lady and the Tramp, which is like, wouldn't it be nice if this had happened, versus like Lincoln, which is like this, or Glory, which is like, this is what it was, more or less. You know, and so I think there's places for both of it, and I think there's like, because I think about Hamilton a lot, because like they very intentionally only hired non-white leads.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of, I think, really appropriate criticism about what that does to people's understanding of American history and non-white people's place in it, you know?
Yeah, but on the other hand, I think it's also those groups like demanding recognition as like part of the country.
Oh, totally.
And being able to take,
no, definitely, I think
being able to take some of that history and be like, it's our history too. And I think if you do this sort of like race conscious casting for like small non-historical movies that are just set in the past, I think you run into like the spaghetti western issue where it's like, well, oh, sorry, all non-white actors, we can't cast you because we're making a show set in 1870s.
It seems to
New
me
York
like
City.
the solution to that is to not set it in 1910 or whatever, and simply set it in the 70s.
But
then
then
the 80s.
you can't. But then you can't tell the story that you want to tell.
That's fucking tough shit, you know?
But
this is not how it was, and I don't think it's. I think it's irresponsible storytelling to portray it in as romanticized a fashion as this is.
You know what's
as a
exciting?
product of a mixed race marriage. Like this is not. It really rubbed me the wrong way.
That's fair. You know what's exciting?
It was a crime at this point in time.
In New Orleans?
Yes!
They had weird rules with race.
New Orleans was one of the most sort of like flexible in terms of people's potential positions depending on what race they were. But no, miscegenation was a crime all over the South at this time.
Yeah.
And
But it didn't have to be.
And
if more people had
it
lived
didn't have to be,
like
but it
Lady
was.
and the Tramp, New Orleans, wouldn't we be in a better place today? You know what's exciting? This is the most we've disagreed, and I think it works.
I
well.
think so too.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm excited to argue more in 2 weeks when we talk about 101 Dalmatians.
Is that next?
You know what's
Another dog
next
movie?
Is just the next movie, which is just for patrons.
Oh, it's Sleeping Beauty.
Is Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
So if you want to listen to that one, join our excellent patrons and listen to it. But the next one that everybody will hear if they click on it is 101 Dalmatians, and it's 1996 live action remake.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird one.
This is very exciting to me because it is the first, and we're actually getting 2 in a row. Because it's going to be 101 Dalmatians and then the Jungle Book. And we're doing both Jungle Book remakes. But both, 101 Dalmatians in 96. The first Jungle Book remake is 94. So we're going to see a different live action Disney era.
I watched that 94 Jungle Book remake all the time. Yeah, I'm excited to do that. Are we doing the 94 Jungle Book remake? Is that for Patreon only also, or are we doing both of those?
I was thinking we would do all 3 in one episode.
Oh, that's gonna be a long episode.
Unless that's insane. Unless that's
gonna be like a 3-hour episode.
Oh no. We'll try it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll do it like we did Alice in Wonderland and just talk all the way through and see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah. What is our outro? Do you remember it? Thought I wrote it there. I didn't. Give me a second. Okay, thanks for joining us on the 7th episode, wow, of Once More with Feeling. If you want to support us, check out our Patreon, where you can become a cool member of our cool movie club. Talk to us on Discord, which is live. We're having great conversations on there about our episodes, about new movies that are coming out, about old movies that we should watch. And listen to our exclusive episodes. Alice Through the Looking Glass, that horrible sequel to Alice in Wonderland. Soon, Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent. After that,
Probably Pete's Dragon after that.
Cruella we're doing Patreon exclusive.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of Patreon exclusives in the future. Yeah, we're doing Mufasa as well, aren't we?
We should do Mufasa, even though that one is going to be a rough watch.
Yes.
So plenty of fun, extra little stuff if you just love listening to us that much. Follow us on social media at WithFeelingPod, P-O-D. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns? Do you agree with me or Mariana on the various things we argued about this episode? Send us an email at withfeelingpod@gmail.com. And remember, the first 100 people who agree with me will get 25 cents. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Too often stripped of love, just